Hey, good Monday morning to you. It's Caskey Live at 8 a.m. Eastern, as we do every Monday in the month of March. Every weekday Monday, we go live and talk about some things that I think might be helpful for you as a sales professional. As I've told you before, I coach and train salespeople and sales teams and leaders probably 6 hours a day, 4 to 6 hours a day. So I have a lot of content here. We've got lots of stuff to talk about here over the next week. I'm going to do something different this week. Rather than teach you something, you're going to help me create something. And I think by you helping me create it, it's going to help you create something for you, for yourself. So I'm going to tee it up today, and then tomorrow we're going to get into it. You know, one of the things that I've always been fascinated by is marketing funnels. You might say, wow, some people are fascinated by the grizzly bear or the 7 wonders of the world. You're fascinated by marketing funnels. And the reason I am is because whenever I go into a company, one of their biggest challenges is lead generation. Now, there are other challenges, but I primarily work with business-to-business sales teams, and it's hard to find people, it's hard to get to people. Cold calling seems to be kind of like one of the last vestiges of prospecting. I think it's worthless, it's terrible, but what do you do in its place? And so I've been thinking about this idea of a marketing funnel, and what a marketing funnel is very basically is that you create something. It could be a document, a white paper, a PDF, an ebook. It could be a course, could be a short course, could be a video, but something of value. You're creating something of value for someone to opt into. And then you put that on your website and you promote it. You promote it on social media, on YouTube. You promote it maybe with ads. You promote it to your massive customer list if you have one. And then a person sees that promotion and says, oh, the seven secrets to blank. Yeah, I'd kind of like to know about that. They give you their name. They download it. And then you send them a group of follow-up emails, a cadence of some kind. And then eventually there's a meeting that happens, or a call, book a call, something happens good. The problem is very few companies have a marketing funnel like this, where they're offering something of value for the name. Now it's got to be something of value. It's not a brochure. I've seen people try to do their sales brochure. Nobody's going to give you their email address for that. And if you lie to them and say that it's secrets and something of value and then it's a brochure, they're not going to trust you and you've damaged your brand. So whatever it is you're going to create, and that's what I want help from you on, is what can I create? Here's the mission for me. Over the next week, I'm going to be, Travis and I, who does all of our web work, we're going to be building a corporate training funnel. And what that means is that a lot of our work comes from companies, VPs of sales, CEOs that have sales teams of between 10 and 50 people, and they'll invite me in and we'll go in and we'll assess the team and we'll do work maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. I've got some clients I've been working with for a few years, but it's a corporate program. It's not public. They're not putting 5 of their people into a public course. This is all custom. It's all private. And so I want to create a marketing funnel for that. So we're going to start tomorrow, and we're going to start with what exactly is the thing that I'm going to offer. We're not going to work on packaging of it. We're just going to work on the thing itself. And so I'm going to come back to you tomorrow, and we're going to start, and I'm going to have a web page that you can look at that I'll put on here in some way so that you can see it. And we're going to start, and I'm going to want some help from you. I'll also share with you some things. And at the end, we're going to build a marketing funnel checklist so that you too can build something into your business that generates leads for you. Okay? So that's the plan. So starting tomorrow, we're going to hit it hard, Tuesday through Friday of this week. I think you'll like it. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues. And if you are struggling with lead generation, this may be something that as you participate in it and you end up getting the document, the Google Doc, or however we put it, the checklist of a lead generation program, I think you're going to find it very useful. Okay, a couple more things. Last week I have a group of people who join me once a month. It's called the ASP Insider, Advanced Selling Podcast Insider. It's about 75 to 100 people who show up every month, and we do breakout sessions and we do training. And the training is one topic per month, and it's a topic that I believe is a key topic to helping you grow, helping my clients grow. And last month, or a couple weeks ago, we always meet the first Friday of the month, we talked about the questions that you should be asking. And I want to give you 3 questions. We talked about 12, but I want to give you 3 because I think these can be useful for you in your business. Number 1 is, when you're talking to a potential client and they say something that is interesting to you and you'd like them to go deeper, here's the question or here's the statement. Can you tell me more about that? Now, every psychotherapist knows this line. A lot of sales professionals know this line. But if you're not used to asking questions or digging a little deeper, you may not use that. I want you to grow your income. The way you grow your income is to understand their dilemma almost better than they do. And then when you know that, you can pinpoint a solution directly to them. But if you don't have if you don't have a curious bone in your body, then you're never going to get to the real essential issue that they have. And so this can be a moneymaker for you. Being curious and asking the right questions can really be helpful for you as you seek to grow your business. So that's question number 1. Tell me more about that. Number 2 is a question. Can you give me an example of that? So if I'm talking to a VP of sales and they say, one of our biggest challenges is we lose sales we should have converted, we should have won. And we close about 20% of our business and 80% we lose. And I would say, well, can you give me an example of a recent situation where you lost a deal? I actually had this happen about 2 months ago. I asked that question and the VP of sales said, oh, I'll tell you, I'll even send you the communication between the salesperson and the customer, between the VP of sales and salesperson. He sent me this packet of communication. Now we eventually are working with that client, and I think it's a lot because he got emotional. He was really kind of angry that they didn't get this deal, and he laid it all out for me. So I was very clear about what happened, and it was pretty easy to see what happened, but I didn't tell him until we got done with the sales process. And now we're working on that so that it won't happen again. But that's a question. Can you give me an example of this that allows the prospect to just go a little bit deeper and reignite that emotion that they have? So that's question number 2. Question number 3 is, does this problem have any cost to it? Now you can ask this in several different ways. You can talk about economic impact. You can talk about financial impact. Does it impact your financial objectives? Does it cost you any? There's lots of different ways to ask it. But I want you to ask the question because at some point, guess what happens? They're going to put your price up against this number that you've just asked them for. So if you ask this question and through the subsequent dialogue and other questions and conversation, you find that they've got a $10 million problem and you can fix it for $500,000, then they're going to compare the $10 million problem with the $500,000 solution. It's going to look very favorable for you. But if you never get that information, if you never ask the question about economics, if you never go into detail about the cost of the problem and the cost that they decide not to fix it and the cost that it's cost them the last 5 years to, if you aren't curious at all about that, you're selling yourself short. And everybody I come in contact with says, oh yeah, I'm earning X amount of dollars. I'd love to get to the next level. But if you're not curious, it's hard to get there because the prospect's never going to tell you how to sell them. And these questions really relate to the customer or prospect telling you, look, here's what I'm up against. Here's my battle. Here are my problems. Here's the economic situation. Can you help me? But if you never get to that, they never get to that. And if they don't get to that, then it costs you money. We've got a little new setup today. We're using a little bit different camera. We didn't like the Logitech 920. It's one of those that I've had for a while, and it's just very blurry. I think you probably noticed that. So we're going to another camera. The audio is probably not as good, but I wanted you to see my pretty face. So anyway, hope this has been helpful. Tomorrow we're going to start building the funnel. Come prepared, bring some notes. And by the way, if you've commented today and I don't have a chance to answer the comments while I'm pontificating. That's the word. But I will jump into my LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube later on. So if you have a question or comment, make sure you leave it, and somebody will get back in touch with you. All right.